please feel free to ask any questions you may have that may pop up during this webinar. There's the chat window. We want this to be as informal as possible. If something piques your interest or if something pops up while we're presenting, just make sure to throw your question in the chat window, and we will field it as they come to us. We'll also have a few minutes at the end of the call for Q&A as well. With that, I will go ahead and turn things over to Jeremy and Peter, and we'll go ahead and get started. Thanks, everybody.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jeremy Foote. I'm a senior engineer and marketing technologist here at New Signature. With me is Peter Schmidt. Peter, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, everybody. Peter Schmidt here. I lead our CRM practice at New Signature.
A little bit about New Signature. We were the 2014 Microsoft Partner of the Year for the United States. Had a few other accolades here. We operate mostly in the Mid-Atlantic and are really excited about Microsoft Dynamics Marketing coming out. We've been employing it here for our marketing efforts over the last probably 5 or 6 months. Any digital marketing that you saw around this event was delivered through Microsoft Dynamics Marketing, and later in this webinar I'll show you how we did that to use this tool to its fullest extent. So let's go ahead and get started. What is Microsoft Dynamics Marketing? It's it's a marketing resource management tool. It's a budgeting tool. It's a project management tool. It's all these things. But marketers are increasingly being held accountable for driving revenue. And we also need to, as marketing professionals, we also need to prove out our viability of our campaigns and digital and across channels, whether it's digital marketing or social or email marketing, print marketing, whatever that is. And we typically are called on to do this across multiple platforms, right? Whether it's MailChimp or Constant Contact, for our email, across a CRM system like Salesforce or Dynamics or CRM Dynamics, that can go. There's a lot of tools that we end up having to use on a daily basis. What Microsoft Dynamics Marketing does is help pull that all into one single source based on the Microsoft stack and connected to Dynamics CRM. So what it really does: resource management, handles assets and media, budgeting, project management, tasking out jobs, tasks, milestones, tying those to deliverables, the complete marketing execution suite for email delivery, social media, TV advertising, across the board. It's fairly full functioned. And then we go into lead management and scoring, and that gets into the CRM side, and MDM does sync to CRM, and then reporting all these, lovely things that we've developed over time. So MDM can really, truly replace your quiver of third-party applications. You don't have to move from application to application if you employ MDM. I know at New Signature, before we started to bring MDM into place, we were using MailChimp and Eventbrite and Click Dimensions out of CRM. We were using the Dynamics CRM marketing tools, and then there are other digital marketing automation tools like Real Magnet and Eloqua out there that, quite a few of our clients use as well, which can be integrated. Some of them can be integrated with Dynamics CRM, but it's not a native Microsoft stack product. It is, they're third parties. Typically, I know for Click Dimensions, Power Objects has done a great job, but it's still not the easiest thing to get to sync to, for Power MailChimp. It's not the easiest thing to get to sync to another third party. So again, MDM brings all these things under one roof and connected to one system, which just simplifies life as a marketer dramatically. So the benefits for marketers, for corporate marketing and demand generation, you can improve your conversion rates. You can deliver more personalized messages using the Campaign Canvas tool. You can really break out and get really robust and kind of nuanced as to what type of messaging goes out to what type of lead, what type of contact. You can also do pipeline and revenue impact measurement for every campaign and sync that back over to CRM. You can deliver social, digital, and web, and measure all those ROIs on those channels, and get greater insight into the performance across those. And you can, with the resource management, you can access an approved library of web-ready content as well. For the creative and advertising side, you can span the traditional and digital divide. Microsoft Dynamics Marketing also has a spot in it for handling collateral, printed collateral, and keeping track of inventories on that. And that helps, keep those two. If your channels are not single digital source, if you are using printed emails or brochures or whatever it might be, trade shows, anything that's more tangible products, MDM can help you track and deliver, metrics on those as well. And again, it accelerates your time to market, and you can measure the performance of individual assets through the MRM part of Microsoft Dynamics Marketing. And then for the marketing executive or the CMO, you can manage all your budgeting and spending across campaigns. You can understand the cost of acquisitions across channels, and you can really get great insight into your marketing ROI. Whether that's you connect Dynamics Marketing to Power BI or not, there's still a lot of out-of-the-box reporting tools which are quite robust, and Peter will get into those later. Excuse me. So the impacts that MDM can make on your company, you can manage cross-channel marketing more efficiently. If you have a small marketing department, and almost every company does not, does not have a huge marketing department. I know New Signatures is small. I've worked as a marketing manager for other companies that had very small, really just me working as a marketing professional. And so having this in one place and not having to manage all these different applications, and when your subscription is going to run out to that one, and if a feature changes on another one, is that going to affect anything else downstream? You don't have to deal with that. It's all in one package, and allows you just to manage all that cross-channel stuff far more efficiently. And you're also allowed to innovate instead of maintain. You can spend more time crafting your message instead of dealing with going platform to platform, and especially if you're bringing new staff on and having to train those people on multiple platforms. Instead, you could do a training on just MDM, and really they're active in that tool pretty much immediately. Also, staying in MDM allows you to stay on message. You can unify your customer experience across all your channels. You're using the same assets, the same resources, the same titling practices for individual entities, and that really just allows you to deliver a super clean, super clear message that all feels very unified and looks very unified. You can also enhance your pipeline. Qualified leads sync right into CRM. A whole lot of entities link directly into the CRM, so you're able to track those, with the robustness of, with all the robust tools that Dynamics CRM delivers as well. And Peter will again get more into the CRM side a little bit later. Excuse me. You can also get more visibility into social media successes and leverage Microsoft's social engagement tool. MDM will sync with that as well, and you can start to use that tool to further expand your social media channel. And it allows you to build your marketing organization organically and intelligently. If you start to build a larger staff, again, one platform that you have to use. You can start to add on features, since MDM is not like, say, Salesforce or something else where you have to continually buy new products and plug them in. It's full suite from day one, and so you don't necessarily have to use the marketing or the budgetary tools on day one, but you can start to bring those online and automatically click them in. Same with any kind of cross-channel tools, or bringing vendor jobs or vendor tasking online. It's all in there, ready to go, and ready to connect to entities that you've created previously. Now, we've broken down how we're going to explain everything into basically 3 groups. We have a planning, execution, and evaluation. And Peter will get into talking about resource management for the planning, execution, and evaluation part.
Thanks, Jeremy. Great intro. Appreciate that. So as Jeremy indicated, really for the rest of this session, we'd like to talk about these 3 parts of marketing processes. So planning, executing, and evaluating. In the execution portion of this, Jeremy's going to provide a quick demo of some of the features of Microsoft Dynamics Marketing. Evaluating obviously talks about performance reporting, things like that. But I'm going to start out with the planning function. So as the old expression goes, if you don't know where you're going, then any road will get you there. So really you have to start out with a decent plan. And the first step in that is really understanding what your marketing resources are and how you manage those.
Not working for you, Peter.
Sorry about that. I just got dropped from the call, but I'm back. Okay, so the first step in planning a campaign is planning which outlets you plan to use for getting your message out there. So Dynamics Marketing allows you to manage your media outlets and orders. As you can see on the little screenshot here, it's everything from magazines to newspapers to TV and radio to somewhat more modern outlets such as websites. So you can manage those outlets. You can manage your orders that you place with those outlets. All of this is visible on a calendar for your marketing department. And to help plan with all of this, you can specify rate cards so that you understand that an ad placed in a particular medium on a particular time of day or day of the week may have different rates than at other days and times. So digging into the topic of resource management a little more deeply, there is the facility for storing your assets. So you can take your digital media, drop them into folders, and we'll see a picture of what that could look like for you in just a bit. It'll present thumbnails. You've got the check-in, check-out capabilities so that a whole team of marketers can be working on these assets at the same time. In conjunction with that then is the idea of annotating your media. So really anybody on the marketing team can review those assets, can annotate them, including things like videos. So if you have a video, you can play the video, stop at various points, insert comments, things like that. You can do all of this online. You're no longer routing, manila folders with hard copies on them for review and comment. It's all handled interactively and online. And in addition to this kind of co-authoring capability, you have the ability to route these materials for approvals and ultimately publishing. And that can even be with outside parties. So it doesn't have to be your internal staff that's reviewing and approving these things. They can go outside as well. Continuing on the theme then, obviously the more assets you have, the harder they are to find. So there are search capabilities where you can add metadata to your digital assets, including Adobe XMP data, and search on all of those attributes. I mentioned earlier briefly the idea of version control auditing, so you know who's changing what and when. And possibly most importantly, you get insights into how those assets are being used. So you can see which of your assets are used frequently, which haven't been for a while and may need to be archived or retired. There we go. And this gives you kind of a few little thumbnail sketches of what the application looks like. So in the upper left here, we have the idea of in-place annotations. Here we see a little GIF file of a logo. So you can click on that, enter your comments for others to see and act upon. Jeremy will show more about kind of the workflow capabilities within Dynamics Marketing. But here you can see, for example, a layout of an approval process. So you start with a certain point, depending on whether it's approved or not in this first level, then it may get split off onto some other paths. If nothing happens for a certain period of time, you can have other actions specified, like routing that same approval request to another individual. Usage summary is a little hard to see, but you get the idea that you can see for each of your assets how frequently they're used and how recently they've been used. And then the last picture here really shows that all of these assets are stored in folders. So the same kinds of folder structures that you've been dealing with for a long time are available in this product as well. No need to reinvent the wheel here. And then the other component of planning, not just managing, what assets you plan to use for your campaign, but is really the budget side of things. So there is a very robust budgeting capability within Dynamics Marketing. It allows for things like quotes. So if you send out RFQs to various vendors to support your marketing efforts, you can manage those requests. You can manage their responses. There is an entire payment system in here. Tracking expenses, purchase orders, managing accounts payable, things like that. Also receipts, so that if you charge for your work and you take receipts for some of these things, you can manage that. And then lastly, reconciling all of this with your finance system, so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel or kind of create another solution for the accounting requirements. You can integrate with systems that you already have. And then within budgeting, you can set up a number of different budgets throughout the application. So you can have budgets for specific projects, for specific clients, for specific jobs, campaigns. They can all roll up into higher level budgets so that you can track all of that. You can also track your budgets based on different time horizons. And lastly, really use a very full-featured chart of accounts to manage different types of assets, liabilities, revenues, expenses, cost of goods sold, things like that. And then we touched on this before, but yeah, there's a reconciliation process so that you can close out all of your finances and square those with your accounting system. Lots of analysis tools for comparing budget versus actual, projected versus actual, things like that. And again, very importantly, the idea of security running throughout the application so that different users have different capabilities depending on their role within the organization. Financial data is some of the most sensitive in the world, and so you can certainly manage your requirements using those capabilities. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Jeremy, and we'll talk more about how you can execute marketing campaigns.
Thanks, Peter. So our first step in focusing more on execution of marketing strategies with Dynamics Marketing is through project management. MDM allows you to track a vast amount of things under project management. You can nest campaigns in projects. You can nest jobs in projects. And then getting back to a little bit what Peter was talking about, you can budget and plan tasks and projects with the budgeting tools. These things kind of, do mesh across planning and execution on occasion. Full time slip management for users, vendors, and contractors. And then billing, you can invoice time slips, multiple time slips, and set different rate structures for different types of users or vendors or staff. You can also do job traffic management. There's a whole job section where you can route job tasking through a variety of means and track and identify any of those jobs that are at risk. And then you can optimize that as well now that you have some visibility into those metrics. You can also compare estimated times versus actual times for completing jobs and tasks. You can set milestones, and you can assign groups to those milestones with descriptions, and you can set major and minor milestones that are visible across calendars as well, campaign and marketing calendars. And then you can view time usage in spreadsheet style summaries. You can also template project requests, which is handy if you have the same type of project going out to a vendor or a staff person, say it's an email authoring or a print job or whatever it might be. You can go ahead and template those, nest all sorts of entities like jobs and tasks in that project template request and or in that project request, and then next time you need that, just spin it up from the template. Simplifies matters quite a bit. You can create tasks very easily in this kind of quite visual fashion. You can see who it's assigned to, who it's assigned by, which company that falls under, and who the actual, if you're managing campaigns or any kind of marketing, tasks for a third party, you can see who that actual task is being created for. And then you can automate job requests through the timer, through the job requests and the task flow. Also under execution, we have a little bit of vendor management, which is handy if you do have quite a few vendors. If you have printing vendors, trade show, any kind of trade show production vendors, any kind of, video or TV advertising, vendors that are creating any kind of collateral for you. You can track that vendor information. You can track the projects by the vendor. So if that vendor is attached to any kind of campaign or job or a program, you can see that. You can manage RFQs. You can track all your vendor costs, and then you can track vendor correspondence. You can directly email vendors back and forth from staff or management directly within MDM. And then you can also, going back to the marketing resource management part of MDM, you can give the vendors access to specific assets, any kind of digital assets, RFQs, jobs, time slips, through a set web portal, so they don't have to have access to the entire MDM suite. You can just give them access through a web portal to various bits and pieces. And again, that's all controlled by the security of that. You only allow the vendors to see their own information, and you can lock that down very securely. And now we get into the part of marketing that I do the most and tend to enjoy the most, and that's really doing the marketing execution. MDM allows you to create, manage, test, and analyze your multi-channel campaigns. You can manage direct mail through it, catalog distribution, any kind of co-branding and event marketing, email and newsletter campaigns, and television and search engine advertising. New Signature doesn't do a whole lot of television advertising, as you can probably suspect, but we still have seen the value in that, and we've had other clients that have looked at that part of the tool and found it to be very robust. Again, tracking vendors, clients, and contacts, and managing marketing lists, leads, and opportunities that sync over from Dynamic CRM. So you don't have to maintain two completely disparate sets of leads. You can manage them all in Dynamic CRM, allow your sales organization to have complete access to Dynamic CRM, do all their pipeline management, and then bring those lists over into MDM in order to market to them directly. And then you can supervise events. Like I said, New Signature used this, promoted this event through MDM, tracking registrations and attendance. We didn't have sponsorships, but that's a capability as well. And then if it's, say, a trade show or anything of that ilk, you can set staff requirements, attach that to the event. Any kind of equipment, AV equipment or trade show equipment needs to get shipped. There's capabilities for that, as well as venue control and travel arrangements. So the venues are pretty robust, especially if you continually use the same venues. You only have to build that venue entity once in MDM, and then you can just apply that to your event, and that will have all your venue contact information and all those things. So one of the great things about marketing execution in MDM is this building campaigns with a drag and drop visual designer. You can do the same thing for routing requests and tasks. It's quite a bit the same, but it's a really nice graphic way to manage a campaign and all the different entities, especially digitally, that can be part of that. And so I was going to do a demo of that and show you how the campaign canvas and MDM works. Give me one moment. This is the landing page for new signature. We'll talk more about this later, but basically this is a customized dashboard for me that allows me to see my email deliverability across multiple campaigns, and then there's some custom widgets here. So the campaign that we are talking about is basically the same campaign that we used for this this webinar, and you see here, this is basically where you create the campaign initially, and you can tie it, as you can see, to all sorts of different entities. If you have it operating under a certain division or certain department, you can attach it to that so that later you can go and search all campaigns by division or all campaigns by department. If you have your traditional media and your digital media separated into two different divisions, they can both use the tool, and then you can see what projects they're working on at that time. Programs are an entity that campaigns roll up into. You can also set your start date. If it's a campaign that has a certain number of certain quantities, say you're sending out a mailer and it's a 5,000 piece mailer, you can set that here as well. You can also have customized categories if you've decided to set those up, and you can nest them, the campaigns, in folders when you're looking at it in list view. Also, you can attach a specific lead scoring model to any campaigns, and you can customize those lead scoring models, and Pete will talk more about that later. So now we go into the campaign canvas, which is a really interesting part of MDM, and it's quite photogenic as well. So what you see here is a list of activities that you can apply to any campaign over here on the right, and you basically drag and drop those onto the canvas over here. And so you can see that this is a list. You can see this icon is the same as over here as a marketing list. So we have a static list, and you can go and change those lists. You see that we have selected the event intro to Microsoft Dynamics marketing webinar, and you select that there. You can go and select from, if the lists are not appended to a certain campaign, you can go and pull those lists from any marketing list that you've created in MDM. This is our email entity, and so again, you can go in and select any email that has been created, and we are using this demo invitation into Microsoft Dynamics Marketing, and nicely you can go and actually edit that email directly from the campaign. So if you need to make a minor tweak and save a version before you start off this campaign, you can get there directly from the campaign canvas. You can see here you have control over in a kind of normal edit mode, as you would see in most of the email authoring applications out there. You can also get directly into code. If you are of that mind, I tend to go in directly into HTML to edit things if I need to. And you can also directly insert a whole range of fields automatically. You can also insert plugins, subscription lists, forward to a friend lists. This one that we built automatically has a subscription center link in there, so for people to subscribe to other lists or unsubscribe if they want. And you can also insert any links directly to any landing pages that landing page or webinars or any other entities that you've created. It allows you to just drop those in. You don't have to go hunt down what that URL is and then paste it in. You can just do it automatically from here. You can also do test sends directly from the email screen. And you would activate the validate and activation. The validation tool is very handy. It goes through and makes sure that you have all your entities necessary, such as your subscription center, so you can follow ICANN rules carefully. And it goes through and just makes sure you don't have any broken code. It makes sure you have basically all the necessary parts of an email ready to go. And then you would activate that from here as well. Or you can do that earlier when you actually create this email entity. Here we have a landing page. Landing page is Microsoft Dynamics speak for registration form. For this event, obviously, we sent out an email, and then that email pointed you to a registration form. Registration forms are very robust, or the landing pages are very robust, and I could probably talk for a full hour just about landing pages, but I won't. But again, you can go directly into these entities from the screen, from the canvas, and make any tweaks to them that you would want to. You can do specific lead management tools, you can do specific behavioral settings, and then you can actually edit the content of the form here as well. And again, you would just save that and make any changes that you wanted to on the fly. And then the canvas has triggers. You can define a trigger to do multiple things, whether it's through a landing page or an email. You can say if a user registered for this campaign, then through the landing page, then they would be added to this event. And so again, we have the event entity over here. We've created this event entity previously, but I can go ahead and just with a couple clicks say I want to track that entity or track that user as a registrant and attendee. There are two different event models for MDM. You can track as attendees or registrants. Registration brings a whole set of billing options that you can run through as well. And then, so what we're seeing here is we have a user was on this list, received the email for the demo, for the invitation to the demo. They were sent to a landing page. They completed that landing page. They are registered. They would be added to the event, and that would be the end of the process. Now, if they did not complete the registration form, you can set an action for that later and say, let's wait 7 days, and then let's, resend them the email. Let's just give them another nudge. Now, you could have another nurture email. You could have a, hey, you forgot to, you forgot to register for this event, or the event's coming up in 10 days, whatever it is. But you can define that email here as well and set up a whole nurture campaign as well. So you can see there's also a zooming feature. So if you get a really complex campaign going, you'll be able to see all the entities and drill down to them without having to scroll like crazy. You can also multi-select entities and delete or change them. And within these activities, you can do lead scoring. You can set a task so that if say a person registered for an event, then a task was triggered out to one of your professionals to email them a printed mail packet or whatever that would be. You can also do special offers if they if they reply or fill out a registration form somewhere. You can send them a special offer for a product somewhere in your catalog. You can also do a full webinars and do A/B testing for multiple emails, which is nice too, because that's a full A/B testing suite is baked in as well. And then again, static and dynamic marketing lists and social media triggers. Forgot. So that's the campaign canvas. This is one of the features of MDM that Microsoft is very proud of, and we find very useful. It's really nice to be able to put your campaign into a visual format instead of having and especially if you wanted to convey that information to a new employee or a vendor or a staff person or even a marketing professional, like some kind of leadership position that wasn't strictly familiar with how campaigns work. You could easily do this. I've done this flow charting on whiteboards for years, and it's just so much easier to do it within this tool and automatically connect it to the specific entities that you're going to be using is handy as well. So that's the campaign canvas tool.
Jeremy, before we move off of that, you can save that. Now that you've done all of that work of laying out that process, you can save that as a template, right? And reuse it?
Absolutely, yes. And so you can save this either as a campaign or a campaign template, and then just go out and swap out these entities. If you wanted to do something more like a template, you could just drop these entities in. I'll show you real easily. You could drop these in empty. and start a whole new list here, if I wanted to, just kind of think about a campaign, you could just drag all these entities in, or these, placeholders in, and then, do whatever, then go in later once your entities have been built out, and just apply them to this. So you could save this just like this and have all these, say you're saving it as a social media campaign and you needed to do, specify the list, send the social media message, have that go to, those users be removed or added to some kind of list, whatever that would be. You can build it out in this, in here, save it as a template, and the next time you want to do a social media campaign and you know that this process has worked well in the past, you can just go in, add in all your entities quite quickly, especially if you're using things that have been built out before, or you've built them, you've had a different, marketing resource building out these entities for you. They can just, follow a task structure, tell you they're completed, you approve them, and then they're added to these lists, and you can just add them to the campaign. Yeah, good call, Peter. So beyond the campaign canvas, we're still in the execution phase of tools for MDM. Lead management and scoring. You can create custom lead scoring, like I said, custom grading, which is handy, especially if maybe you're a startup and you're doing a certain special type of campaigning, a certain special type of lead generation. You can create custom lead scoring and you can custom grade them. You don't have to rely on any traditional models. You can just create your own fairly quickly and easily. You can see here, you just create the new rules. So like I said, lead scoring models. You can also do lead assignment roles automatically that will sync back to CRM. So if a lead comes in, you can assign that to whatever sales professional you would need to. And now we're going to get into, so that wraps up our execution phase. So, we've now sent out our campaign. We managed the project to get the campaign sent. We've, scored and dealt with all our leads that are produced from that campaign. And now we get into the reporting phase. So like I showed you earlier when we were in MDM, you can create custom personal reporting dashboards. They are continually adding more features to the dashboards. So right now there are quite a few, and you can view them in a variety of different ways: pie charts, line graphs, and you can see here these are the last few campaigns that we've run, and it breaks you down to your total clicks, your delivered, your bounces, and then some renders just to fill in the gaps mathematically. But you can see you can build out in a whole variety of different tabular data, locational data, bar graphs, pie charts, scatter graphs, and the reporting is fairly full function, but it gets even better when you start talking about plugging into Power BI. But with these reporting and dashboards, you can really just get a quick visual snapshot of your information. You can you see what's going on with your campaigns, especially, you can see how your lead performance is going, the efficacy of these campaigns, the efficacy of any, channels that you've been marketing to as well. And it's super customizable. And then, like I said, you can get even more insights if you connect MDM to Power BI. Power BI is a business intelligence tool from Microsoft that plugs into CRM as well. Super powerful and gives you a vast array of ways to display metrics and information that you've gathered from some platform. And more about performance reporting. You can prove your marketing effectiveness using performance reporting. MDM has like I said, a really robust suite. You can track campaign performance with conversion and response rates. You can, going back to the resource management, you can track media usage. Getting into more television-specific things, you can track broadcast verification. And media traffic specifically to certain types of media that you have deployed. You can receive reports from a project perspective on jobs on time, performance, workloads. And then you can also report on your marketing database. You can see opportunities, do some limited forecasting, and then create custom reports from a wide variety out of the box tools. CRM is also super integrated with CRM. MDM is super integrated with CRM, and Peter can speak a little bit more about that.
Sure. So we list the entities that are synchronized, really kept in sync between the two systems. So companies, accounts, those corporate entities, whatever you call them in CRM, really go both directions. Really, all of these things go both directions with a couple of exceptions. Contacts, right? So the individuals, the leads really go from Dynamics Marketing into CRM. So as you conduct your marketing campaigns and they generate leads, when they hit a certain threshold based on your lead scoring model, those can be routed to your sales professionals who will access them through CRM. So they don't need to understand or even know much about the intricacies of Dynamics Marketing. They just know when leads come across that they have something to act on. Opportunities, on the other hand, go the other direction. So once a lead is qualified and you create an opportunity in CRM, that can sync back into Dynamics Marketing to help with that reporting on your return on marketing investment. So you understand what opportunities were spawned from your marketing campaigns and what those results of those opportunities were. Campaigns go both directions so that your sales professionals, other people within the organization, can gain insight into the campaigns that you're running from within CRM. They don't need to go into Dynamics Marketing. Marketing lists go both directions. So, for example, the sales professionals and other individuals in your organization can add contacts to lists in CRM, and those are pulled automatically into MDM for your marketing efforts there. Tasks flow both ways, whether those are approvals or work that needs to be done for a particular project or campaign or job. And very important are all of the metrics around website visits, right? So those are captured in Dynamics Marketing. They get pushed into CRM so that as, for example, your sales staff is working their set of leads, they can see which portions of the website that lead has visited and can really tailor their sales message depending on that behavior. And lastly, notes go both directions between the two systems.
Thanks, Peter. And that's about all we've got going today. Again, if anybody has any questions, we'd like to open it up for questions now. We're super excited about Dynamics Marketing. It's a fairly new product. Microsoft's been working on it very hard and made quite a few steps quickly in getting the product even more robust. But it's a great opportunity, especially for smaller organizations. Trying to manage limited resources, and it's also great for enterprise because with the complete user control and security and all the integration with the Microsoft stack, it's a super powerful tool for enterprise as well. So as you can see, you can manage very robust campaigns and projects with MDM. So does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, so there were kind of a set of 3 questions that came in through the chat window. I responded to them in text, but let's cover them off here as well. So the first is, how can we set up an email sign-up list on our website that routes right into CRM? And we've talked about that in the demo portion, that really when you define those marketing lists, either in Dynamics Marketing or in CRM, from within Dynamics Marketing, you can set up this subscription web part that you can then insert into possibly a page on your website. Could be a landing page from a campaign that you're conducting that allows the individual to go there, enter whatever information you deem is necessary, name, address, phone number, email, some or all of the above. And then those are captured into Dynamics Marketing directly and then can push into CRM. The second part of the question then is, how can you auto path an individual email address or other offerings based emails into leads in CRM. So the idea is you send out your email blast. You want to make sure that those responses are captured. I'll speak to how you can do that within CRM, and Jeremy, maybe you can tie in how you might supplement that using Dynamics Marketing. But really within CRM, you can set up a forward mailbox for that, info@abc.com, that any email received into that mailbox is automatically entered into CRM. That's what a forward mailbox does. And then CRM takes care of connecting that email to leads or contacts or accounts, kind of whatever entities you may have within CRM that are connected to that email address. And then, from there, you can conduct whatever process you need to. Those could be added to a queue so that if you have a group of individuals who monitor kind of incoming email to that address, they don't have to open up the mailbox and decide which of those get pushed into CRM. They're just all there in CRM. They can take items off of the queue and claim them as their own. They can return items to the queue if they need to go off on work on something else, things like that. So queue management is probably a key part of that process. And then, Jeremy, you want to talk about kind of any interesting spin based on that process?
So, for your, let me see which question this is. For your first question, set up an email sign-up list. You would basically create a landing page in MDM, and then right here in the lead management, you just toggle that, and that allows you to, it'll create a leader interaction, and then you can sync that over to CRM. I believe that is automatically synced, but you can see here when we created our when we created lists for this event, let me show you real quickly. You can see the leads that we've had generated for this event right down here. So you can see these are the registrants for that event automatically, and then those can sync back to CRM. So that's pretty straightforward. And then again, you would just, Patrick, you just pull those into marketing list, those leads into a marketing list from the campaign canvas, and then send your email through the campaign canvas. Now, the one thing I will say about the campaign canvas is that you have to use that tool to distribute emails to lists. To do any type of campaign. So we just ran a campaign last week for New Signature, brought in multiple lists, and then I just sent that, was able to send one communication to multiple lists through the campaign canvas. Nathan, do you have pricing on what MDM is right now for a seat?
We can follow up afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll double check.
We'll get a hold of you, Patrick, and let you know what that is. Anybody else have any other questions? Well, thanks everybody for coming. We really appreciate it. We hope if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Peter or I individually. Mine's jfoot@newsignature.com, and Peter's is pschmidt@newsignature.com, and we're happy to answer any questions we can.
Additionally, thank you, Jeremy and Peter. Additionally, just with regards to upcoming events in general, I believe we have some folks who are in attendance today who are in the DC metro area. Next month, on May 20th, we're going to be holding a 2-hour lunch and learn event specific to Dynamics Marketing. Hands-on lunch and learn event, a good opportunity to learn more about this product, as well as mingle not only with some of our experts here internally, but other marketing professionals in the area. So if anyone's interested in that, we just dropped the event page / registration link in the window. Please feel free to join us. We'd love to see you there. Light commitment on your end, 2-hour lunch event from 11 to 1 Eastern. That's Thursday, May 20th at the Ritz in DC. Additionally, we are also holding another webinar next week, 1 week from today. I believe it's over lunch next week, so 12 to 1 Eastern. We're going to be talking about Skype for Business, many updates now as we kind of transition from Link to officially Skype for Business, and we're going to be covering what's new for folks both on the user end and the IT professional end. So thanks again, everyone, for joining. We appreciate your time. If you have any questions, as always, please feel free to follow up with us, whether it's with Jeremy, Peter, myself, or just info at New Signature in general. It will go to all of us. We appreciate your time, and we hope to see you guys next week. Thanks so much. Take care.